It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Hickory Crawdads GM, Douglas Locascio. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Brandon. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to work in professional sports?
So, from a young age, I definitely grew up embedded in sports, whether it be football, basketball. Grew up down in Tampa, Florida. My grandfather, all we knew was like baseball card shows, all of those sort of things. So baseball was always a huge part of my life. I was not very good at it. Played little league, but nothing more than that. And then always had a passion for sports. And when I got to college, I actually went to Campbell University on a wrestling scholarship. And when I got to college, I had the idea that I wanted to be a sports lawyer, sports agent. Then I found out you had to go to law school, and me in school we got along, but we didn't cooperate a ton. So that quickly changed, and realized, oh, okay, well, I can still be involved in sports. And then realized that there was a business side as well, and got my degree. And so it just kind of shifted priorities, and then just lined up different internships along the way, and kind of just found and fell in love with the business side of running a sports team and what that comes with. And so it kind of led me to where I'm at today. Just continue to always learn, but still get to be around sports, still get to do something I love and enjoy, and wake up every day excited to come to work.
Can you talk about, of course, what was your time like at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the ticket operation intern, going from, of course, Campbell to all the way in Tampa, Florida?
Yeah, so it was a great opportunity for me. I was born and raised in Florida, moved to North Carolina for college. Part of our college program was getting an internship. Obviously, being on scholarship, I had to get it cleared with my coach and athletics that we could do it. And so kind of shifted it with wrestling kind of being a winter sport. So you compete kind of October through March. It sort of worked out. And he was like, hey, as long as you're still training and doing that stuff, it's a great opportunity. The sport of wrestling is amazing, but after college, there's Olympics and stuff of that nature, but really it's like there's nothing else after. And so knowing that, it's unlike other sports where you're like, okay, if I can go with the pros, I can't give up a season because that's my way into the pros, where we know that we're going into the business world. And so he saw it as a great opportunity for me and strongly encouraged me. So I was able to live at home with my mom, and which was pretty cool because it was my little brother, his senior year. And so I was able to see him more than I typically would. But it was an awesome opportunity. Learned a lot about strengths and weaknesses of where I was, but just learned a lot about the industry. When you think tickets, I just thought it was like game day operations and get people in. But I didn't realize all that went into it was season tickets, group tickets, individual tickets, suite tickets, outside event, anything and everything. And so, or customer complaints, things of that nature, or collection calls. And so I definitely got to see all of that. And it was pretty cool because in Tampa, their corporate office is at One Buck Place. And so you're working at the same place that the team is training. And so your lunch, you could be eating lunch across the room from Monty Kiffin, John Gruden, people like that were with the Bucks when I was there. So it was awesome. We made a playoff run that year. So it was pretty cool to see like playoff invoicing, things of that nature. So it was definitely a real unique experience. It taught me a lot. It was a good resume builder, I'd say that. at that level, there's just so much. I was sort of a paper pusher, I guess you'd say. So it's like I was challenged, but not to the full capability, but it was still an awesome experience, and one that I'm super fortunate that I was privileged to have. A lot of my great relationships I still have with people I worked with and people I worked for. And I'm fortunate to this day for them for giving me that opportunity.
Can you talk about, of course, what it was like to transition from Tampa to the Hickory Crawdads as you were first a director of ticket and merchandise?
So when I came here to Hickory, in between, I did an internship in Wilmington, North Carolina, with the Wilmington Sharks, and so that was my first taste of minor, like I'd say, like that's summer collegiate baseball, but my first taste of baseball. Because so much you think a front office, they're like, you get the question, oh, you deal with all the play, and really we don't. We deal with the business side. And so in Wilmington, I realized like, hey, how cool it was. There was only 2 full-time staff members, and there was 5 of us interns. And we hosted the All-Star game that year. We won Organization of the Year for all of the Coastal Plain League, so it was an awesome accomplishment. But it taught me so much where it was like, hey, there's all of these opportunities within baseball to still be involved and to learn and to do something. So it was very unique. And so then I graduated in December and was looking for like, hey, what's that next move? Loved the state of North Carolina, so was looking here, and it was that connection. My boss in Wilmington met my former boss here in Hickory, and they were talking about just different internships and different opportunities. So I started March 1st, actually, right at this time, March 1st of 2010. I walked in, I was supposed to be the box office assistant. And my boss, Mark Seaman, the former GM here, he said, congratulations, it's your first day and I've already got a promotion for you. And I go, what do you mean? He said, the guy who was supposed to be your boss got let go over the weekend. So it's your job to lose. Good luck. We're not bringing anyone else in. If you need anything, let us know. And so I was like, sticker shocked in essence, and was like, oh my gosh, the nerves. Here we are March 1st and we're opening season, here in a month and a half. What am I going to do? For whatever reason that year, we opened on a Friday and never, I ran the box office in Wilmington, and Wilmington, 500 people was a good night. So here in Hickory, we had probably about a 500-600 person pre-sale. And then, so get it going. There was a line from the ticket window all the way out the parking lot. And we had over 3,500 people that night. And so over a 3,000 person walk up on my first night. And I thought I was going to be fired the next day, but my boss said I handled it great, and that no one could have expected that. But it was, from that point on, it was always just a learning curve. Every day was a challenge, how I could get better from this day to the next, how I could make the organization better. And I've just been fortunate and privileged to have great leaders in front of me who have paved and showed me the way, but also let me make it my own mark. And so fast forward to the end of that season, and sure enough, I didn't blow my opportunity and got offered that director of ticket and merchandise job with the Crawdads. And here we are 12 years later. I'm, a couple different titles later, but still here in Hickory and in love, and still as excited to come to work every day as I was then.
Can you talk about, of course, what are your roles and responsibility as the general manager?
So here in Hickory, obviously, my role as the GM is to kind of run the business side of our operation. We're unique. We are owned and operated by the Texas Rangers. So we're one of the minor league teams that's actually owned by our parent affiliate. And so, report to them day to day. That's where my bosses reside. My boss actually oversees both us in Kinston, the Down East Wood Ducks. And then our boss is out of Texas over the VP of events with the Rangers. But And so just running the business side. And so managing our staff here, making sure everything efficiently runs, managing the budget, managing the fan experience, anything that goes into running the business kind of falls, I guess, under my responsibility in essence with that. But then just managing our staff, very fortunate to have an amazing staff that I can rely on, that I'd go to battle with. I'm only as good as them. And I look great because they're great, and they push me every day and motivate me every day because I want what's best for them, and they want what's best for me. And it's a complete team effort. So very fortunate to have an amazing staff here in Hickory, and just continue to burn our new path and to lead it forward during this new era.
What was the process like of getting a minor league, becoming a minor league team, being affiliated with a major league team like Texas?
Yeah, so Hickory itself, the Crawdads, we've been a team. Our inaugural year was 1993. So the first 25 years, we were owned and operated by a local ownership group. And so after our 25th anniversary season, that ownership group sold to the franchise, to the Texas Rangers. I think the Rangers have been a great partner. We've been affiliated with them since 2009. So fast forward to 2017, they just saw it as a phenomenal opportunity. They saw it as a phenomenal franchise, and the players love it here in Hickory. They love it here in Hickory. So it was just perfect timing with our ownership group. I think there were some of them were a little older. And so I say they saw the writing on the wall where it was like, hey, you know what, if something's to happen to any of us, we want to leave this team in good hands. And so those good hands, and the Rangers always said, hey, if you ever want to sell, we would like first crack at it. Well, the dominoes aligned, and sure enough, they got the crack, and now they're our owners. And so, things transition and change as you go from one to another, but it's been great. Very fortunate to have amazing ownership and support with the Rangers, and it's very excited for the future.
Can you talk about, of course, what are some of your accomplishments with the Hickory Crawdads?
So, I've been in my role here with the Crawdads. Some of the neatest accomplishments, I'd say one was 2014 when we hosted the South Atlantic League All-Star Game. Was one a highlight of my career so far in Hickory. Every year is unique and different. 2015, we won a South Atlantic League championship, so I was able to. We clinched in Asheville, North Carolina. I had my son with me, and he talks about it to this day, getting champagne sprayed on him and the celebration. And some of my fondest memories are being able to involve my kids, and my family into this stuff. And then to fast forward to, getting the GM role. So I got the GM role June 1st of 2019. So halfway through our last baseball season. So, at that point it was like, hey, let's get through, let's survive. And then last year, obviously no season, but pretty fortunate and lucky again, of the hard work and effort of our staff. Proud to say that of all, we're probably one of the few minor league teams. We didn't have a single furlough or have to let a single person go last year during the pandemic. We were able to pivot and find a different model of our business and realize, hey, we've got this facility. We're not playing crawdad baseball games. What can we do? And so we hosted over 150 showcase games out here. We started a kickball league. We started hosting comedy zones monthly, fundraisers, nonprofit groups. We had a dance recital. We had 3 drive-in fireworks shows. So numerous things where we're like, hey, let's utilize the facility more than just crawdad baseball. And so now that we're getting back ramped up, we'll have 60 crawdad games, but on top of that, can we host another 50 or 60 events on top? And so for the city, it's great because that's more heads and beds. But it's taught us, it's changed our business model up enough. And so that's another thing I'm very proud of, is just the pivot of that. But again, I'm just fortunate to work alongside a great staff who bust their tails and work night in and night out to put us in a great spot to succeed.
Can you talk about the process of getting called up to the major league level?
For from the player standpoint, a lot, and especially with the Rangers of late, a lot. So I think our number in the 29-year history of the Crawdads now, I want to say we're around 192 former players are now associated, are now in or played time in the majors. So a lot of them are, the first step was here in Hickory for the most of them. Now it's sort of changed. Now we're high A. We flipped with down east. They're low A. But so a lot of those guys, this was their first taste of Major League Baseball. This was their first time living on their own, first time opening a credit card, a checking account, those sort of things. So Hickory's always going to hold a special place to them. But the relationship and the coaches. So we have a unique program. It's called Crawdad Connection. And so with Crawdad Connection, it's sort of host families that get players don't live with them, but they're an outlet for the players. They're a resource, a community resource. And so a lot of these players get so close with their connection family that it makes them part of the family. So when they get the call up to the show, the Crawdad Connection family is usually one of the first calls that they get, right up there with their actual family, with the former coaches, those sort of things. So it's awesome to see just the relationships that are built and the community that comes around the team. But I mean, it's an amazing feature, and it's pretty cool to say, like, oh, I took that guy, I saw that guy play here in Hickory, or that guy did this mascot appearance with us, or and no one knew who they were then, but they sure know who they are now. So it's awesome accomplishment for those guys.
With, of course, getting called up, are there some times where they might get called up like for one game and then come back down to Hickory?
Not usually Hickory. A lot of the guys that are getting, I really don't even remember no guy really that's been with Hickory currently, like today, have I ever seen got called up tomorrow. So we don't really see that. What we've seen is like a year or two down the road, or even later that year. But yeah, they get called up as a fill-in and then get sent back down. I think a lot of it is just they get that taste of it. You see that a lot with pitchers. But I think it's a good motivation tool, because it lets them know, hey, either I'm there and can compete with these guys, or this is what I need to work on. What we've seen a lot is like the trade piece around the trade deadlines, some of those player to be named laters, or the lower minor league guys. So we've seen that before, where, a guy was scheduled to pitch that night, and then next thing you know, he got scratched. And then next thing you know, they're announcing a trade. And so he can't be in the dugout, so you got to find him a place on the concourse, but all the media wants to talk to him. So we've seen the trade pieces, but not necessarily the call-up pieces.
What are some of the traditions that you have implemented for the Hickory Crawdads?
Oh, I'd say some of them is just the Crawdad Connection is one that I'm very proud of, that we got started here probably 6 or 7 years ago. So that's one. But for the most part, it's just the family entertainment. A lot of the things we just strive for affordable family fun. And so our customer service is one. We knew we're not going to lead the league in attendance. A lot of these stadiums just hold so many more people than ours. But as a staff collectively back, started when I first started as an intern, we collectively said, you know what, we can give the best customer service, and we can be the cleanliest ballpark. And so those are two of the things I would put up with almost any minor league teams, is our customer service as a staff and the cleanliness of our ballpark. So those are some initiatives. Besides being involved, every member of our staff's involved in some sort of organization from a community nonprofit. So is another very important thing to us. We want to give back to the community that's given us so much. So we're just lucky to have such a supportive community and to be a part of it.
What is the game day like for Hickory Crawdads?
So the game day for a staff member, it's a little insane. So we're a smaller staff. There's 11 of us full-time staff members. So on a game night, just use a typical 7:00 game night. Most of the staff, we get in around 8:30, 9:00 in the morning. We'll have a game day meeting to talk about what's going to happen that night. Any ticket deals, promotions, kind of tables, sponsorship fulfillment, those sort of things. And then we break off and everyone goes their separate way. You get into a routine, so you sort of know what's to expect. You go about your day, you get your things done, you check off your checklist, making sure the suites are clean, the stadium's clean, the AC works and all, just going through that mental process. Tickets are printed, will calls ready. Those, in the same sense, we're answering the phones, answering any questions from fans, selling any tickets over the phone. It's not one person's responsibility to sell all the tickets. It's all of ours. So if the phone's ringing, we don't want it to ring more than 2 times, and someone's wanting to buy us something from us. So we're trying to sell them and trying to execute and give that best customer service possible. To up before about 5:00 is when our game staff starts getting here. A little before that is our concession people are getting here, so they're getting ramped up. 5:00, game staff's here, get them checked in, do a final walkthrough. We open gates at 5:30 for our season ticket holders, and then 6:00 for our regular fans. First pitch at 7:00, then you go through the game. So again, everyone has their own game responsibility. Then the end of the game, we're all at the gates thanking fans for coming and telling them see them tomorrow or see them the next day. Then we clean up and get out of here probably around 11:30. And then we're back at it the next day. So you do that for 6 or 7 days in a row. And then you get a little time off and recover, take a day or two. But and then in the same sense, there's another homestand right behind it. So it's a family. You see your office mates more than you see your actual family. But it's fast paced at times, but it's prepared. The best advice I can give when it comes to a game day is, knock off your check, have a meticulous checklist and check things off. Don't let things creep up, and just handle your to-do list and do everything that you can to prep yourself. Not let things be like, okay, well, I'll get it tomorrow. Don't put off to today or to tomorrow what can be done today, and just continue to work that way.
What are some of the things that you have implemented with COVID being in the air so fans will have more of a fan interaction?
Yeah, so, obviously with COVID, we have pretty strict COVID policies that we adhere to. Here at the ballpark, everyone is required to wear a mask the entire time, unless they're actively eating or drinking at their seats. Is one. We're a limited capacity, so we'll be around 30% capacity. We're selling pods of 2s and 4s for our games once tickets go on sale. And so we'll be around 30% capacity following our state governor order and following the 6-foot socially distanced. So all the pods will be spaced out, more sanitizing stations. We are going bagless, so there is a no bag policy. Typically in the past, we used to allow bags, but with COVID, we can't have someone checking bags and going through that. So we're just going no bag policy and just working through the different player regimens. We kind of have to, the players need to have their own bubble on the field. So just making sure that we separate them from fans and keep that going. And that we make people feel safe. And so just extra cleaning goes into everything and just handling of it that way.
With, of course, COVID being in the world and stuff, and where sometimes you don't have like full capacity of fans, how are you implementing like different things to interact your fans? Like I've heard like from other people, they use like maybe like a free pitch thing where they get to pick their pitchers.
Yeah, so a lot of that. So we're going to do a lot of our on-field promotions up on the concourse. and just interact, utilize our video board more. So fan interaction there with making noise or, find yourself, send us in your picture and see it up on the video board, those sort of elements. First pitches, we're encouraging people to pre-record them and send them to us. That way we can put them up on the video board beforehand, tying in that way. A lot of it is just, we're minor league baseball. COVID is a very serious thing, but we want to have fun. The mask policy, we want to have fun. We want to entertain people, but then we also want to be safe. We want to be smart with everything. So we want people to still have a good time, to feel relaxed, but to feel safe while they're out here at the ballpark.
What advice would you give future GMs looking to get started in baseball or sports in general?
Yeah, I mean, just build your network, build your arsenal of tools that you have in your toolbox, but also be willing not to be the smartest person in the room. The reason why I'm as successful and the Crawdads are as successful is building a staff that complements everyone's weaknesses. So some of my weaknesses, I have staff members that it's their strength. And so I can rely on them. And along the way, not being afraid to ask questions, immerse yourself in your network, build relationships. It's all about relationships, whether it be sponsors, whether it be your staff, whatever it is, just build the relationship and put in the work and effort. It's not going to be handed to you. It's not going to come easy. There's a lot more failures than there is successes, but learn from those failures. Every day, learn something new. I'm challenged every day. I'm excited every day. And I just hope, because your attitude and effort rubs off on your staff and their attitude and effort. So just continue to work through that and just put yourself in the best spot to succeed by building yourself around the best staff that you can, and just continue to learn, not be, take each day as a learning opportunity, not be afraid to take chances. I think that's the other thing is, so many people are afraid to fail. I see failure as a success. If I failed, that means I'm trying. And if I'm not trying, then I'm not succeeding. So just continue to succeed, push yourself to the limits and work in that path.
That's wonderful advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Hickory Crawdads at?
So yeah, our Hickory Crawdads, definitely follow us on social media on Facebook, Hickory Crawdads Baseball Club, our Twitter, Hickory Crawdads, and Instagram. Myself, I can't tell you my Twitter handle or my Instagram, but I am on both. A lot of my family jokes with me. The only stuff I really share on those is Crawdad stuff, but I'm on there somewhere. But yeah, or just visit our website at hickorycrawdads.com and give us a follow there. And we look forward to hopefully seeing some of you all out here on May 11th, the home opener of the Hickory Crawdads.
Thank you again, Douglas, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with the Hickory Crawdads as their GM.
Same to you, Brandon. We appreciate you thinking of us and giving us this opportunity to talk.
You're welcome. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Douglas, for your interview, and best of luck.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.